D. It's 1944. Jim Crow, Deep South. It's crazy, ain't it?
Oh, it's crazy. Also, there's something even more important. You said 1944? Ain't we still fighting that motherfucker Hitler? Yeah, let's go ahead and kill us some Nazis. But we Negroes, so it's gonna take a minute before they feel that we're ready.
Yeah. I want people to understand something. There is something that I love about this movie. Hi, folks. First off, welcome to another episode of 3BG. So
happy Black History Month.
Happy Black
Blackity black. Happy Black History Month. You know, you had the response will be may the grace of Don Cornelius.
Do we have this on the BlurCon YouTube, or are we still just on?
No, we don't. You think we should put it on the Blur?
Yeah, we could add that to it real quick.
We can go ahead. We can go ahead and do that. You know, because the day of the Geechee is over.
Yeah,
day of the but it also, you know, you know.
But I need people that so last year at BlurCon, me and D, actually when we kicked off the live stream on Friday, we somehow ended up talking about A Soldier Story, right?
Yeah, we did. That was weird. Yeah, we did. It was funny. It was one of the weirdest things ever. We just started going into Soldier Story, bro.
But that's 3BG in a nutshell. We just dive into that. But anyways, one thing about this movie,
I was at Orange Julius with my girl, right? And I saw this motherfucker had a big ass large cup, and I thought to myself, cup, C-U-P. Remember that scene in whatever movie?
I would appreciate about this movie.
And there you go.
You want to talk about seeing black people sweat their ass off in the Deep South? You seen a bunch of fucking niggas in white t-shirts sweating to sweat.
That's best part about this movie. This is what you call shoulder unarmed sweat. But anyway,
man.
First off, let's start it over again.
Yeah, let's start it over.
Happy Black History Month.
Yes.
May the grace of Frederick Douglass bestowed in front of your house this morning. May you also remember to keep the door open for keep the back door open for Harriet Tubman to get in. Also, don't forget to light the candle.
Leave a peanut out for George Washington Carver. How about that?
Also remember, y'all, leave a bottle of Pinot Grigio out for the ghost of David Ruffin.
Before we get into this movie, we have to bring up something. Blur Station. So last year we did a stream for at BlurCon with Blur Station. It was very fun, actually. Funny enough, between all of us enjoying BlurCon and then kind of diving back over to the Blur Station booth and stuff, all of us kind of in the Blur Station press corps, we kind of, you know, on top of everybody else that was also doing press at BlurCon, we all kind of contributed to doing a very productive stream at BlurCon. It was very fun. We got a lot of people, cosplayers, and everybody involved in that. So this year, go ahead.
And you know, it was very fun because it was a collective of several different groups, and you know, basically coming together. And not to make it sound like it's just, you know, like all three black geeks, all about us. It was something that me and Chris, from the very beginning of BlurCon, we wanted to be a part of something like that. I remember the very first time we wanted, like, well, we can get other people on it because the press corps, wherever it was at the time when we first came to BlurCon, was close to non-effing existent. Didn't we have to pay to get in, Chris? I think we had to pay to get in the first year.
We didn't know the protocol. I think, but that's first year cons. It's like they don't know the protocol, and it's weird the first year, but then the second year onwards, it was like, oh yeah, if you're pressed, you can.
And you know, I just say this, just having the opportunity to do that, especially at a spot where I thought that would be great. Everybody coming off the escalator, seeing where we was at and all the rest of that. It was very cool. Fun part about that for me was people who know who we are and all the rest of that, seeing either Chris or me over there and automatically like, of course y'all niggas are doing some shit over here. You know, like it's like we have been going to BlurCon since its inception, and we don't plan to stop doing it. But you know, whatever. But the point is, I just wanted to bring up the fact that it was really cool thing. The real cool thing to me was, y'all know how I am. I have a low respect for for influencers and shit, but I thought it was very cool to see. I think that was Chris and them that had Cleo show up, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Holes.
yeah.
That was Chris and them that had them. That had him, right?
Yes.
Or was
Yeah,
that
Blur's Eye
was that
View.
kid?
Yeah,
That was
Blur's
Blur's
Eye.
Eye View that had them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Blur's Eye View.
Yeah, but still, the fact that, like I said again, once again, you coming right off the escalator, you see where we were at. I thought that was a cool ass thing, man, just for everybody. Couple of my friends, I didn't know our boy Corey from Philly, Animedia.
Yeah,
I think it's
Animedia.
Animedia. Yeah. I didn't even know he signed up for the shit. I felt like a dumbass because when I saw Corey, like, hey, what's up? Like, yeah, I signed up for this shit. Oh fuck, that is y'all name, Animedia. I knew that. I follow these niggas and everything, young. So for whatever reason, I blanked when we were scheduling everybody, and I forgot about them.
And on top of that,
because on some real shit, and I told this to Corey, he was like, because he was happy, he was fine with the spot, but I told him, I would have got you something better. My dumb ass. He's like, nigga.
Now
I was like, he's like, you was behind that shit. I'm like, yeah, I could have helped you. My bad, nigga. I didn't do it.
Now, here's the thing. On top of that, Follow the Dot, shout out to him. He surprised the fuck out of everybody in terms of really getting a lot of players on stream.
And D is going to bang his chest on here. And D is banging his chest on this. D, the Lone Ranger in the whole group. Y'all better let this nigga in. You sure? I ain't gonna say who said what in the group of nah and no and who is this nigga? You know who said yes? D. And I thank all of y'all in the group for going, okay. I thank every one of y'all. Y'all open the door for that nigga. I like you, bro. I love that nigga, man. I really do. And I'm glad that because it was so funny. When we finally got to see him, we told him, hey, nigga, this is what you need to do. You need to do this and this and this and this. And he followed word. And his TikTok is banging like shit. Yeah. I don't know how much, I don't know what that means in Trump's America, but his TikTok is banging.
But just to bring this up, so this year we are, funny enough, $860 off from our goal of actually raising funds to actually get the Blur Station live stream happening. And yes, if you want to contribute to this, you have two options. One, if you have a business, or if you happen to not be able to attend BlurCon and you have a business, you can go to www.blurstation.com/ and well, go to blurstation.com and you'll see the tab for live stream. Click on that, and we have different tiers that you can go into if you want to contribute on that. And through those tiers, we can help you promote your business through those different tiers. Or you can also go through at Hellspawn, well, $ Hellspawn for his Cash App if you just want to donate, $5, $10, $20 or whatever to the endeavor. Every little bit counts. We'll probably, if you're watching this on YouTube, we'll put it in the description box and stuff and all the details for that. So go for there. But yeah, BlurCon this year is going to be interesting, because it's in the March, which is good. It's not in the hot ass summer month of July, which is great.
Yeah, but I'm look. This is not the putting no voodoo curse on it because I'm hoping for the best. The best will be, it's a balmy 60 degrees. Oh my gosh!
Wow.
But you want to know the truth? It's going to be a whole ass brick, isn't it? It's going to be a whole brick outside.
You said as much. You said as much. Nighttime. Nighttime. No. Here's the thing. March at night. Oh, it's a brick, straight up. Ain't no fucking question of that shit. And we're by the water too. We're by the airport and all that stuff. By the water.
Yeah, all that breeze is gonna cut through Crystal City, bro.
Cold. Cold.
There's look, Chris. This is fucked up. There's a reason why the homeless don't stay on that side during the wintertime. Like, no, anyway.
There ain't no homeless people by Pentagon City Mall. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying there's a reason why. Two reasons why. Racing, redlining. Anyway,
I've been to the National Harbor. Ain't no fucking damn homeless people at the National Harbor.
I got a question though, real quick, before we get off this, Chris. I got a question. So why is all like the real nasty homeless people live in Virginia, but they make it seem like PG's the dirty ones? Like I never understand that. Like Alexandria on the right day smells like a whole pee hole.
Dude,
And
look.
yeah, we're the Jungle Bunnies. I don't know.
All I'm saying is, I feel like 50 Cent, where I'm a PG County resident, where I'm like, what you say fuck me for? Like,
what the fuck we do?
Anyways,
we got a casino now. Leave us alone.
I'll say this. I feel S3BG, we just run into like the perfect timing because Trump's America right now, and the Soldier Story to me, it's one of my favorite movies, and it hits really hard in this era where Trump and MAGA are really trying to erase history and go revisionist history. And what we're seeing, and you probably agree with me here, there's a segment of white people, I ain't gonna say all white people, there's a segment of white folks that really are trying to erase history to make it seem as though they weren't the bad guys and stuff the whole time. And you kind of have to sit back and admire what, like, you shouldn't be surprised they're doing this shit, but it's like, really? Y'all really trying to act like y'all weren't just pieces of shit, huh?
The weird thing about it to me is history is written by the winners. Let's make that very clear. Yeah. It's true, but not all the way true with that, because a lot of history still comes from people who lost their way, whatever. History comes from so many different perspectives. So it's really hard to say that, but I don't know why I went to that. The point is, when it comes to the history of what we're going through right now, white people, this has been something they've been doing since the Civil War. When the Confederacy got bodied, a lot of people tried to change the narrative of what the Confederacy were about. And one of the main things that they said it was about states' rights. It was no longer about them fighting over their slaves. Now, let's make it very clear. I make this very clear, from the person that owns the plantation to the dude that owned nothing. Because the dude that ran the plantation was like, they do it, they'll let the niggers out. Ooh. And the lowly soldier who didn't own my great-great-grandpappy didn't own those slaves. He didn't fight for them. You know what he said? I'll be damned if we let them slaves out and they rape my daughter and take my pig away. That's what they were scared of. They were scared of the overrun of black people. And they tried to change that. One of the main people that really tried to change that were the Daughters of the Confederacy. They still kind of existed. They still kind of exist to this day. They are a very, very racist group.
Aren't they the Heritage really Foundation now?
Yeah, pretty much. They prey on what I like to call ignorant people. Now, you know how people are racist, but they're not all the way racist. They're just kind of stupid.
Yeah, stupid.
You just don't know what you're doing. They're ignorant of their racism. Like they realize, like, what are you talking to me, man? Like my best friend Puerto Rican Joe always let me call him wetback. Yeah, but you still shouldn't say that, bro.
People of the land,
reasons. Like there's ignorance. You know what I'm saying? There's ignorance. And then there's people that know they're being racist, don't care that they're being racist. And they really prey on those two. They really help in those two areas. And that's why you said the Heritage Foundation. Yes, they have turned into all these little groups like that. They all want to keep the Southern tradition. And the Southern tradition is white on top, and the niggers can stay here, but Jim Crow's out to, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They that's how it always was. So you always see, it's always interesting when you see moments like this in history. And I hate saying how interesting this is, because there's a lot of people going to be dying over shit like this. There's a lot of people that ain't going to be eating over shit like this. There are some people, that's the end of your food stamps, that's the end of your Medicaid, that's the end of something. And that's sad, and that shouldn't be. But white folk, y'all have a tradition of falling for this shit a lot.
Look, there's a reason. There's a reason.
All they gotta say is that, don't look, dude. The guy behind you is trying to steal from you, and y'all fall for it, dude, every single time.
There's a reason why. There's a reason why. And I think we talked about this when the show was out. When Lovecraft Country came out, the first episode. No, not Lovecraft Country. On Watchmen. When Watchmen came out, and we saw that episode about the Tulsa. We saw that first episode, the Tulsa Massacre, right? Or was it Lovecraft Country? No. It was Watchmen. It was Watchmen.
It was Watchmen because Lovecraft mentioned Tulsa. Yeah. By the way, I really didn't like how I really don't like how black media, how we float to Tulsa and we'll float to Emmett Till so quickly. It really kind of creeps me out, but whatever.
I will say this.
I kind of had to get that off my chest.
But it was kind of interesting how like Watchmen blew folks' mind that the Tulsa massacre was a real thing, because that's something that white folks, funny enough, in history buried. And like there were some black people, and I remember I took an African American history course, and that's when I found out about it when I was in college. And again, it was one of those things that white people tried to bury because that was on them. They're the reason why the Tulsa massacre happened. You know, and it's like, oh shit.
Now, because I got family from Wichita and mainly Oklahoma, Muskogee, Oklahoma. Shout out to all y'all in Muskogee. My dad, I was always told that they blew up Tulsa. Now that's the way I always heard they blew up Tulsa. They blew up the black part of Tulsa. I thought it was actual bombs. What I didn't
like know, a big hole or something.
Yeah, I thought it was something like that. You know, because I'm a kid, I don't fucking know. Yeah. But
you hear blown up, you just think a crater.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean. But then the older I get, the more I piece together. And then the scary part was the more I pieced together that they blew up. It wasn't Broad Street in Philly, but it was a whole block in Philly. Mm-hmm. They blew up a whole block in Philly. They blew up blocks in DC. They blew up blocks in Detroit. That's where the term blockbuster came from, because they used to blow up freaking blocks.
Yep.
Trying to drive out black people, in some cases poor white people, but mostly black people. They did it all through the South and all the rest of that shit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I am glad that millennials are making sure that the kids underneath us know all of this shit, because it's today. There are people that lived in the South all their life, and for whatever, now I won't say they lived in the South all their life. I won't put it on them. There's a section of black people who truly didn't know what a sundown town was.
Yeah, I think me and you.
That's
the
scary part right there. How do y'all not know about that? That shocked me.
Because think about it. I think we talked at length. Like, we both got family from North Carolina, so like there are parts of North Carolina that our family are from, and that's probably why my grandfather does not want to live in North Carolina still to this day. Because, like I said, my grandfather grew up in an era where he was still picking cotton, and so like for him, North Carolina's like, yeah, I'll visit, but I ain't living there and shit. So that's why he moved to DC.
You always said that. I always said that your granddad was part of it. Your granddad was part of that generation where, like, we were sharecroppers. You mean slaves? No, sharecroppers. Nigga, you was a slave. What you? And then, I had finally gotten that old. My grandma was cracking up when I was saying this speech, but I was saying I finally got old enough where I could look all y'all old black people like, no, we were sharecroppers, nigga. You was a slave.
No, but it's like
you were picking tobacco, cotton, corn, potatoes. I don't care, nigga. You was bent over and you was ripping something out the ground.
Like, we grew up
a slave.
We got family in North Carolina that like lived in areas that were former sundown towns. Some of them in North Carolina still kind of have sundown vibes. It's still there a little bit.
The thing that shocks me is they say there's some in Virginia. I can believe that to an extent. Now, sundown town ranges from the police is going to be watching y'all the whole fucking town to, nah, nigga, do not be around them white folk.
Don't get gas
because even when you think you are, you ain't all right around there, bro. If you getting gas, pump your gas and get up out of there, bro. Like that.
What time is it?
Like, you know the difference. You want to know the difference between Jim Crow era and now when it comes to sundown town? They give you a 10-second start now. So nigga,
better find the nearest highway.
You better go to the next town. If you turn right, you short, bro. So
better hit that Google Maps and be like, where the highway at? Yeah, it's right there. Let me go ahead.
Man. Like I hear they say there's some parts of Maryland. I'll be real with you. I ain't scared of no hillbillies out here. Anyway, I'm not. I ain't scared of no Maryland hillbillies. I'm sorry.
Look, you ain't gonna make me scared of rolling through St. Mary's County. That's all I'm saying. It's like, all right, cool.
You're not. Now, I will admit. People on meth scare me because I don't know your strength. I just don't know your strength. I don't know because you're skinny, but at the same time, it looks like you can snake me and just like give me the headlock I'm over there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know what you possess. You're a meth. That is meth strength. That's a different course. Anyway.
So a soldier story, being that it's in Jim Crow South and all that stuff. One of the things that
deep Louisiana.
Yeah, deep Louisiana. But what like stuck out to me about this movie, I saw it as a kid on cable. What stuck out to me, and it's one of the reasons why I'm a big movie buff. My mom watched this on cable because she was sewing and watching it, and what caught my eye was again the Black All-Star cast, Denzel, Howard Rollins, because Howard Rollins. Funny enough, he was supposed to be the next heir apparent of actors and stuff, and he
was going to be he was going to be that part of that generation that came out of the 80s of strong black actors.
Oh, he was a good actor. It's just drug problems kind of kneecapped him and stuff. Adolph Caesar, if you watch Color Purple, he was that dude.
It's funny. It's funny. All right. You're like, what? Let's stop at some of these people. Let's start the first person you just said right there, Adolph Caesar. Adolph Caesar, bro. Memorable is one of the best ways of saying this dude, man. He much like your boy Lennox in Belly. The second he's on screen, you don't turn your head away. You know what I mean?
Acting.
That's the type of acting. That's the type of presence he had the whole time. And that voice that come down like this and stays in your throat.
Also, being the nerd that I am, Hot Wing and Silverhawks.
Dog, I learned that today.
Here's what blew my mind. Watching Silverhawks and knowing that motherfucker was voicing, I'm like,
dog, you were a part of my childhood. What?
Dude,
I was big on Silverhawks and Thundercats, bro.
Between him and the fucking grandfather in the Cosby Show being fucking Panthro, that's like
Panthro, yeah.
Summertime.
Yellow nigga taking over. But
Art Evans, he's another one. Black royalty.
Art Evans. Now Art Evans just passed away recently, RIP to him. But Art Evans always had a genuine acting style to him. Like you can tell that he can act, but he had a bit of a speech impediment. So, but they kept him around because he was authentic.
He had a very he had a very average black man vibe to him. Like he wasn't trying to be any sort of character. He was just a black guy that's just there.
It's interesting when it comes to Art Evans. We have did Die Hard, Trespass. What else we did with him in it, man? We did a couple other movies with him in it, man. I forgot what else we did. But Art Evans is always funny because you're the main one always looking out for Art. It's either you or Eris is always looking out for Art.
Both of us, we were like, oh, it's Art Evans. Cool, dope.
There he is.
Actually, Eris brings him up because he was one of the police people in Metro, Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. Now,
David, and then here's the thing. I think you brought it up. It blows my mind because there's 3 young actors at this point in time in this movie: David Alan Grier, Robert Townsend, and Denzel Washington.
Yeah. Now, Denzel, you want to talk about all the way to when he's Denzel right here. This is when he's still wearing glasses. He can pull that off. And
look, Denzel. And I love how he's been emphasizing, especially after Gladiator 2 came out on the press run, about how stage acting really is very important if you're an actual actor. Because stage acting prepares you for how you do movies. And when you watch this movie, you could tell, you were still doing stage acting is how you came into this movie and took it over with your fucking acting big time.
And Adolfo Caesar is known for stage acting too. So there's a lot of that. That's the thing that really made the 80s and some part of the 90s, especially for black actors more than white, is that you could tell the people that came off the stage.
Yeah.
And because they always had a presence about it, they always approach acting from a different standpoint and all the rest of that. Like, it's kind of funny. David Alan Grier never shook that off. You can tell the first place he came from was being on stage. Just the way he presents the way he says his voice, and all the way that even when he's acting, you can tell he's acting in that weird stage play vibe with him, man.
Yeah. Like
Denzel really had that. The scene that we all make fun of in this movie. Pure stage. Get your hands off
me.
Jamie killed me.
Hold on.
Jamie,
No. You got to put the fuck into it. Get your fucking hands off me.
Get your fucking hands off me.
That's a nigga right there. He
has
went
done
full
that
nigga on that.
He has done that in so many more. Get your hands off me.
He did it in Glory. Because it's a black actor doing it, like Morgan Freeman, it's like, all right, you got to keep it to the time period, so you can't really go crazy. Yeah, it was St. Elsewhere era Denzel. It was.
That is a good way of referencing it. I want to also bring this up, dude.
Woo, yeah, United Negro College Fund.
Yep. No. Now the Negro College Fund. Now, if you're old enough, they kept that voiceover up until the 90s. They really did. Up until the 90s after he passed. But the blaxploitation trailers, that actually gets me because there are quite a few of them where you would hear actually JD's Revenge.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the, I know for a fact that's his voice now. Wow.
Yeah.
He did have an interesting voice, so he had that good smoker's voice coming really down. Actually, to be honest with you, I feel that we talked about last week. I feel that Jim Varney took a lot of that voice.
Mm-hmm. If you watch Ernest Scared Stupid, when he's like the gruff colonel, that
man, we got it. It's the same voice. It drops down to the throat, and the only reason why I sound like that right now is because my voice is not all the way. But it's like you can tell, it drops right here, just stay right here. What you call me, boy? You know, none of these white boys like you. Now, you know what? The one thing I did like about this movie is that I like how black people, how we always talk to each other. Oh, yeah. And I say that in the sense of
very code switching.
Yeah, it's code switching like a motherfucker because it's like, all right, we got this going on there. Everything's very formal and military. We're at 1,600 hours. We come out there, we clean the mess hall, turn it in. Now you look at me, nigga. Now I know you. He dropped. He switched back to. It's like they were like, no,
even when he's talking to the white commanding officers, it's like he kind of ebbs and flows of it and stuff. It's like, yes sir, no sir.
You know what, Chris? That's the funniest thing. When I got my new job, I was waiting to code switch back into regular D because that's the only way you can work is if you're yourself. Mm-hmm. And I was more interested in how quick was everybody going to go back to, switch over to, everybody being niggas. It wasn't long.
I mean, dude, let me tell you something.
Black folk, man, we got a way of talking to each other, man. Nigga, you don't shut up.
If you live in PG County, any auto parts store in the PG County area is going to be comprised of black people. I don't think you're going to find any white person in any place.
If you do, he
maybe Bowie. Bowie is probably maybe. I'm putting a maybe on Bowie.
I'm being mean because I'm gonna say something for if he's a white guy that works out there, he poor. That's terrible. Look, the point is
black people in auto parts stores. It's like, oh no, it's black as fucking there. They
but it's always funny how to hear black people we code switching. There was a lot of code switching in this movie because it's the military. Military at the end of the day, y'all still cuss each other all the time. So eventually, the one thing that's going to come out is the N-word is going to have fun.
It's the 1940s. The N-word is hitting everybody, white people included.
Everybody get hit with this shit. Everybody.
But you brought up something, Robert Townsend. Robert Townsend, to me, I've always been strange with Robert Townsend because I don't think he's a bad actor. It's just I don't think acting is his forte per se. He's a good writer. He can be a good director, but it's just acting.
I get what you mean by that.
He's all right. He's all right.
I do understand what you mean by that. I feel that Robert Townsend, more for him, he has this he is always playing something where it ain't gonna be too hard for him to do. He can do comedy, he can play it straight, he can do some drama. Because even in a movie where he's doing a terrible accent, what was that, The Mighty Quinn, he can still do drama within it. He is good for what he is.
Black Americans not beating the shitty Jamaican accent. They ain't never beating that shit.
Him and Denzel. And Denzel. Both coconut, monin in that motherfucking movie.
Here's the difference, though. Denzel's a sex icon, so he gets an excuse. He can get away with it.
He can get away with that shit.
Hey, Robert, that shitty fucking dreads with the accent. You ain't beating that
accent. You want to hear something sad? No, it ain't sad. It ain't sad because y'all. There's a couple of girls our age are going to do it to Michael B. Jordan, which will be sad. I think Michael B. Jordan is going to get old, but he's going to get older before we know it. You know what I mean? Like he's going to hit like 60. He's like, you all right, Mike? You like old grade. Like you see how his face look now?
Anyway, he's a millennial like us, so I don't think it's going to hit him like that. He'd be all right.
But I'm just using him as an example.
Oh, yeah.
Even if he did, women will still be on him. So I still sit. I guess, but Robert Townsend was. I didn't. As a kid, I didn't hear no woman going, "Ooh."
It's like you know what? Robert Townsend got he's cute.
I don't know. Probably.
I mean, think about it like this. Think about it like this.
I would like to think he did. So that's all I can say.
When you look at 5 Heartbeats, right? Nobody was saying, "Oh, Robert Townsend was the sexy." No, they went to fucking what was it?
That was Leon. That was
Leon.
Leon and Michael Williams, man.
Yeah. Both of them. Everybody loved them.
Yeah. Michael Wright.
Yeah, they looked there because Leon and Michael Wright had the bad boy image and stuff, and that superseded Robert Townsend being the nice.
Is that hot?
As her pussy got wet.
So I can't even sing stand up. I can't go higher in my voice.
Past that, there's a couple other actors. One of them, John Hancock. He's a black character actor that was in a lot of stuff, TV and movies, as just a guy. Like you see him in a movie, like, hey, it's you. All right, cool. Like it just is what it is, And then William Allen Young, who is Moesha's dad from Moesha, that guy.
Yeah. Before that's Larry Riley. Now Larry Riley,
R.I.P.
Larry Riley. Yeah, R.I.P. to him. He passed away not too long after this. He was a part of Knots Landing.
Yes,
he was really on that. Yeah, he was a part of that show, and he had a bit of a buddy career. He died of I think if I'm mistaken, HIV.
Yeah,
I think he died.
I think it was HIV. I think.
Yeah. So he was also a part of a lot that wave of actors that were dying from that too, man. That was a big wave.
Yeah, the 80s was wild when it came to HIV awareness, and like when you had people dying, especially black men dying from that, it's like, oh shit, like this is serious, like this is an epidemic.
Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, he was HIV positive.
Yep.
Like we said before, he had a drug problem, and he eventually went to rehab, and he had HIV. He was just HIV positive.
Yeah.
But he had a budding career that was about to actually go somewhere, man.
But as we said,
it's actually just sad.
But as we said, Howard Rollins was another one who he was a stage actor, and if you grew up during a certain era like we did, he was a main actor in The Heat of the Night, and he was damn good in that show. And
yes, he was.
If you look at the time period, he was one of probably like 5 black officers during this period of time, and black officers during this time period, they were not respected. And there were a lot of white people who had to grit their teeth that they had to salute a black officer. And I appreciated that this movie did not cut card. They did not wince at this. Like the racism was up in your face, and it wasn't like sanitized at all. Like everything that you see in terms of the struggles of a black officer was right there in your face.
And I think that was one of the cool things where I seen him get off the bus, right? Like you see him coming down there, he get off the bus, and the first thing I noticed was, just his uniform, right? He had regular, those aren't Charlies, right? Those are what are those? Those are Charlies. Those are forgot the name of them motherfuckers. Whatever when he came off there, the first thing I noticed was his insignia and all that. I was like, oh my God, he an officer.
Captain.
I was like a captain. And Robert Townsend's like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, yes, sir. And when I'm seeing that, it hits me. This motherfucker ain't seen nobody above a sergeant.
Thank you.
Wow.
Your drill sergeant is the highest ranking person you've seen. And you see a black JAG officer. We have to specify this. He's a black JAG
officer too. So this one is also one where we can flex too. He came down from Washington, D.C. Where you from? Washington, D.C. So where you went to school to? Where you went to school? Howard University?
Yeah, it's all right.
And when he had this look on his face, like, how are you versatile? Like, how did you afford that? He's like, how can you afford a fancy smashy school like that? He go, my dad was a mailman. Nigga, it's college. What you he had that like it's still college. What are you talking about? But
college was like $100 to go to back then. Come on now.
But also that being said, white people weren't used to an educated black person. And an educated black person was a dangerous thing because the one thing I've learned from a very young age, and y'all see it to this day, the white man don't like it when he don't like getting outwitted too much. Good example. And the reason why we feeling it the way we're feeling it right now. Remember when Don Lemon simply asked the Elon Musk a question, and Elon was like, no, people like me. I did a lot of big things. I'm good. And Don just said there, are you okay? When he said that, I was like, we gonna feel it. I don't know.
I would even say
I don't know if this nigga. I told myself he gonna build a Gundam. He gonna build something that's gonna hurt this world.
First off, D, I just want
to because Don Lemon didn't even have to write. He did. You know how black people, how we tell white folk off. He even had to do it. You did it for him.
First off, this is an Elon slandering podcast for a moment here.
Oh yes,
to tell you this right there. You really sat there and think this dumb motherfucker could build a Gundam? He will build a fucking Roblox robot before he can build a Gundam. All right, don't give that dude credit.
Dude, my kids play Roblox. My sons actually make Roblox games. That actually takes coding and time and patience and intelligence.
Fair.
That's something that nigga ain't got in all of that. Okay, he ain't got in all of it. If he does, it don't have it all at once.
Elon Musk will make a battle bot before he can make a Gundam. All right.
That's the thing that killed me. White folk don't like being crossed too much. So you had this black man show up down there.
Professional, by the way.
Professional with everything he said. Not coming out of his mouth, but he already know the deal off the break. Why y'all not let me do my job? And the main reason why is this, and this is actually a key component of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Because the army don't want it to be out that a white officer killed one of the black soldiers. Because if that happens, that's going to be a riot. Now the chances of that happening, these going to say about 70-30 because there's a 30% chance that the soldiers won't go do nothing. But this was back then during Jim Crow. There's a good chance a brick was going up somebody's head. So
bear in mind, folks, I want you to understand the tension here. You're talking about a time period where black soldiers, like Dee pointed out, they could not fight in the war effort. So these are some of them actually, they even say so themselves, they were actually former Negro League players. And they were basically busted down to just being basically glorified janitors in the military.
And it is weird because this is actually a real thing too. A lot of them got shipped over to certain regiments because they had strong baseball teams to go around and entertain all the fans. They basically used them as a part of the USO, if you want to put it in that weird type of way.
It was.
They kind of were a part of the USO.
Fucked up USO, but yeah.
Yeah, where it's like, we ain't gonna have these niggas fight for us, but we will have them entertain us. Hey boy, why don't you go out there and swing that bat? Now, I say that, and I say it like that to also bring up another element of the situation. Now, where are all of them at? And what you're dealing with when you got Sergeant Waters, Caesar's character, with him is that he is under the restraint of also being responsible of bringing these men up. One of these men might mess around and actually stay in the white man's army and actually might do good and might be a good upstanding Negro. The rest of y'all niggas are just gonna go back to wherever the hell y'all is and drink yourselves into a corner. And I could care less. But some of you are going to make it, or the model Negro. And I ain't talking about the model Negro because you do what you told, you are you sharp, you actually do your job. We ain't talking about Rollins' character. I'm talking about the clown. In other words, he was on pure Umar territory. In a group full of black people, we all have to do it. And I hate doing this because Umar has a real point. If we are all in a room and there's 50 black people in the room, you know at least 5 of them are coons.
Oh yeah, I mean, come on now.
And coonish people are either know they're coons and they're just yes a massa, and then they're the clueless coons where it's like, well, all I do is go out there and I box real hard. Everybody love me. Yeah, I can swing a bat real good and go far. Yeah, you're a clown,
Entertainer.
That pisses off Sergeant Waters. He can't stand Negroes like that.
So burying the lead here. I mean, we're gonna be all over the place.
I ain't gonna lie, hey Chris, I'm gonna be honest with you. I kind of feel that way about Floyd Mayweather, so I understand where he kind of comes from.
Another reason why I like this movie is that it's like what we know of Sergeant Waters. It's not as clear cut as we think, because we think up front he's just a fucking asshole. But then, like, there's a point in the movie where you understand why he is. And what happened was during World War I, him and his men were in a club. And what happened was, around a bunch of white people, there was a black soldier that came in there and dressed up as a monkey and was entertaining all the white people in there. And Waters and his soldiers got him and slit his throat. Because it's like, you did that shit and embarrassed the fuck out of us black folks. You got to go. And at that point, that's why he's so hard on the black soldiers. It's like, yo, like it's, I mean, fuck. When he says that, I was like, damn.
Okay, we got a lot. We be black people. We all got cousins. We all got uncles, aunts that talk big shit.
Mm-hmm.
They talk big shit about that. They always talk about certain people are a cancer to our race and all the rest of that. We all of us have our own ideas what it is and all the rest of that.
Mm-hmm.
There's this weird thing, and it's actually I will say this. Shout out to Norman Jewison, the director of this movie. Yeah. He did a really good job. He excellent director.
He did the Sidney Poitier in here tonight. He was actually director.
Yeah, he did that too. Yeah. Jewison's a really good director. We talked about it during Malcolm X, even though it went to Spike Lee and it should have went to Spike Lee. They got it with the Spike Lee.
Yeah.
If he would have did Malcolm X, I think it would have not have the bite that that Spike Lee would have had, but it still would have been a great movie. It would have been well shot on the rest of that. Yeah. But shout out to him for having this weird storyline where not only does it kind of dive into a bit of colorism when it comes to black folk, but it also dives into how black people feel about what embarrasses us, what makes us feel bad, and how we got to live with that. It's really hard to deal with living in the white man's world and trying to be something that, you don't want. We all have, look, black people, the one thing where we all have to share is that we all got to, like you just said early, Chris, code switch.
Yeah.
Chris, that pisses me off that we all have to do that shit.
It's unfortunate.
We have no choice. We got we do it so much. We do it with our own people, and sometimes when we do it with our own people, it can create laughs.
It's a defense mechanism. It's a defense mechanism, really.
It's a defense mechanism. We have no choice. That is something that was burned into us from slave trauma. We do that. But the other thing that was burned into us from slave trauma was that also too. Like, nigga, we are trying to get out of here, and you are slowing us down. Now, the interesting, and this is where I say as a director, he does give the question to the audience where it was, who gives you the right to be judge and jury over that?
Yeah, Denzel's character says the same thing to a degree. Yeah. He's like, who the fuck are you to sit there and try to take our joy away and say we can't do that? It's like, like, what the fuck?
Well, nigga, you did the same thing back to him. You killed him. And yeah, I'll be honest with you. And like I said, good movies always ask a question. Was Denzel in the right of doing so? You still killed a man.
Yeah.
You still killed a man.
Killing is killing, regardless of the reason.
Is killing. You can't get it out. You can't get it away. Now it does pose the question: was killing him almost on the same level as him trying to kill CJ in this movie? On the same level, you got rid of somebody that wasn't fit for the Negro race. And to be honest with you, as much as I can't understand his feelings on that. I think it's worse when black people try to kill black people, trying to clear up things. That doesn't work, man.
Because I mean,
It doesn't work. Eye for eye leaves everybody blind with one eye, and nobody can't drive straight. So you see what I'm saying?
And that's what makes it conflicting, because it's like this movie. It's like like you said, the trauma of like Waters thinking that he was doing the right thing by framing him, but it's like you framed him,
which is wild.
This guy gonna go to jail for life, and he hung himself. That's the crazy part.
Hung himself. And that's the whack part about it, young. They knew. Now, again, the white everybody, all the white officers, they knew about what Waters was doing. But just real talk, white people, for one of the few times they actually mind their goddamn business and was like, "That's nigga shit. We don't know what business. Doing." Hey, look. You want to know the truth? These boys is about to play the Yankees.
Yeah, they were.
If they won their last game, they would have played the Yankees. Yep. That is a big thing. That would have been a cool thing. All the extra stuff. We didn't care what the fuck was going on. But all we know is that they find out is a white person, they gonna freak out. But what they did know was that he had talked to two white white soldiers that night. He actually had a confrontation with them, and hands were thrown. And one of the people to throw hands, and D is finally happy I can talk about this white man. I know a lot of you don't know who this is, but some of you definitely know who this is. Ladies and gentlemen, D likes to introduce you to one of my favorite C-list actors of all time, Mr. Wings Hauser. Ladies, I love me some Wings Hauser. The sci-fi movie god of the 1980s is right here in front of us, y'all.
He's like, my thing with Wings Hauser is that I always saw him on TV shows, so that's kind of like how I know him outside of this and stuff. Funny enough, this is the second movie because technically we talked about it in Tales from the Hood. He was one of the racist officers.
Get out of here! He was in Tales of the Hood.
Yeah, he's one of the racist officers that the zombie senator killed.
Well, that's funny because I was joking as it's the first time I heard him say.
Yeah, that is. Hey, Cole Hauser's. Yo, you have your dad's face, buddy. That is you have your dad's face all through it.
Yeah. Cole Hauser, I'm not even joking. He does one of my favorite horrible movies. Is a movie we're never going to do. Probably you and me might do it, Chris.
What?
Actually, I gotta talk to Prime because a part of me feels like he's a big fan of this series too. He was in the second Beastmaster movie. Now, the second Beastmaster movie, he was Arklon in the second Beastmaster movie. Arklon had to be one of the worst villains of all time. But Wings, every time he was on camera, all those in sight of Arklon shall die from Arklon. I know that it was like, that didn't make no sense. But I said it really loud. His superpowers didn't make any sense. It was awesome, man.
Look, only thing I remember from
Beastmaster 2 stinks.
Only thing I remember from Beastmaster 2 was that Ferrari, a tiger, and fucking Mark Singer. That's about it. No, my bad. Carrie War. I was kind of.
Carrie War was in the movie. Hold on. James Avery was in the movie too.
Wasn't he?
Yes, he is.
I forgot about that.
He was like an FBI agent or something. I don't remember. But yeah, he was in that. Yeah, you just said that's Cole Hauser's son, father. Now, here's the fun part about that. We said not too long ago, we stand for Cole Hauser here at 3 Black Geeks. We actually stand for Cole Hauser. Cole Hauser should be a bigger star than what he is, but I'm glad him being on Yellowstone got a lot of women going, hey, fat boy, what's underneath that? I'm glad.
I'll say this about Cole Hauser.
Cole Hauser,
you know what it is? Cole Hauser, and you'll probably agree with me on this. Cole Hauser plays like the rugged white. He plays a rugged man that women like.
Yeah. Unlike his dad, like you can tell that his dad was pretty boy. Yeah.
Oh, you are not lying on this, sir.
Vice Squad, sir.
Woo!
Yes. Vice Squad, a movie that I ain't gonna fake is another.
Sounds like a band podcast right there.
I've been look. If this is a plane, I've been looking down at that every now and then. Like, Vice Squad. No. But I'm still thinking about you. And again, no. But Vice Squad is a movie I think Three Black Geeks one day should talk about. But yeah, but it was kind of funny seeing Cole Hauser, but he was one of the officers that confronted him and confronted Waters, and they had a moment back and forth. But the one thing about white folk, when it comes to killing black people, I always think white people confess to killing black people, but there's always a cop like, all right, I can make this work. There's always a cop that can get him off of it. So that's the way I always see it. So if they killed him, they would have said something. They was like, nah, we left that nigga on the side of the road. And that's what they did. They left him on the side of the road.
I'll tell you another white actor that you probably seen before, but I'm very familiar with. Trey Wilson.
Yeah,
he plays. Now I remember him because I watched Raising Arizona. He was the rich guy that was the father of the was it the quintuplets or whatever and shit that Nick Cage stole.
Yeah.
He always knows how to play. He gives off. He knows how to play like a rich Texas oil kind of guy, vibes.
The Dimmadome ass vibes ain't come from this motherfucker.
Yeah.
I love it.
I spit chewing tobacco.
I say, boy,
yeah, that kind
a lot
of shit.
That is really a lot of everything. But yeah, but the colonel, of course, stayed in front of him, trying to.
He wanted him to get that. He basically wanted him out after. I think they gave him 3 days to solve the crime, which I'm like, damn, you only give him 3 fucking days.
That ain't enough for nothing, and you know it ain't enough for nothing. I'm giving you 3 days, and the one thing again is the military. So the military is going to let you do shit if you kind of muscle up and say something. So he just had like, go ahead and do what you want to do, and he gave him permission enough to do enough. Just enough.
Davenport, to his credit, was just like, because number one, they threw him in his own the officer barracks, and he's by himself because they didn't have an officer's barracks for black people, for a black officer. So they was just like, we have an empty barracks. Have fun.
I know something, y'all. You know what's scary? You in the South, you sweating, you hot as fuck, and all you hear is crickets, and do you hear a lone car?
Man.
The way he got up, he was in his drawers and like, I don't blame you, nigga. I'll be the same way. And you ain't got no peace on you either, bro. Ooh.
Bro, let me tell you something. I'll tell you this myself. My great grandparents, they lived in Robbins, North Carolina, small town, North Carolina. It's one of those. It's definitely a sundown town. That's the vibes I got, right? I remember, I was in middle school at the time. I slept out on their porch. It's definitely one of those porch where it's like outside kind of porch, right? I remember I was sleeping on the couch outside. And again, where it's at, like you said, crickets and everything is peaceful, right? My uncle was pulling in late night, and you just see lights, and I just immediately got up like, the fuck is going on? So I feel Davenport when he got up, just like, the fuck? Like, all right, like, you just gonna bust up in here while I'm asleep, trying to, like, what do you want from me? I feel him.
And that was kind of weird. In that same scene, that's when he learned that, wait a minute, y'all know the Klan ain't got nothing to do with this. Where the white boys at?
Yep.
Where the white boys at? And they were really concerned that the white boys did it. But even when they gave the testimony, he's like, well, you talked to him, so what you want to do with him? You want to lock him up? No, because they didn't do this shit. It's like, why you still want to? And the thing that got me was like, why you still want to dig and all the rest? I'm like, he was like, y'all get out my way and let me do my fucking job, bro.
And I like the intrigue of
his
it.
Ass the whole time of that, yeah.
And I like the intrigue of it because it's just like the white people just wanted to just bury it. Like, well, black guy got killed. Who the fuck cares? But he's like, no, I'm here. Let me do the investigation and stuff. And it was, like I said, everything started lining up because even Private Wilkie, you find out he got busted down to private because he actually had higher rank, but he got busted down because he was drinking on duty. Mm-hmm. Basically, he got drunk on duty and he got busted down.
He was like, man, it took me 10 years to get them stripes.
Hey, you were drinking on a job, buddy.
I don't want to hit. That's a nigga. And we don't look. I always say this all the time, y'all. We don't make niggas like a Dolph Caesar no more. We don't make coons like him no more.
That's a guy that I'm like, I kind of don't want to talk to you. You probably cuss my ass out, so I'm good.
Man, that's like because he played drill sergeant so good, either he's soft as hell or he's actually that energy. Peterson, thought I forgot about you, dumb boy. We fighting. Come on outside. Look, let's go. I love that scene because the white officer came in here. They all code switch. They're like, yes, sir, and all the rest of that shit. And they're like, Peterson, you know what? I forgot about you.
Outside.
Boy.
That fist fight was on some like, yep, that's some black people shit.
Had him. Denzel had him. But here's the problem.
Veteran.
You don't give no veteran. No veteran of any military branch. You don't give him no time to recover. Nah. That motherfucker said, sha with the pocket saying a wop, wop, plop, plop, pit, pit. I'm like, yo, you let that old nigga beat
gotta be honest with you,
that, bro.
That's the first and only time Denzel ever got his ass beat that bad in a movie. Be fair.
Boy, hey Chris. I'm a flex it. I'm a nigga from up north. I'm a nigga from up north. I gotta be real, Chris. Oh, it brought me real pleasure to hear that. I'm about to beat your southern ass up and down. Boy, look, there's no beef between the North and the South no more. Black folk don't care. If y'all do that, man, that's some personal shit between y'all. But just gonna keep it real. As a nigga that's born and raised in Washington, D.C., I'm about to beat all the country breakfast out your country ass, nigga. Cause country niggas talk real big shit. Like, nigga, I ain't from the city. I'm lifting cows.
The best line for this
country niggas, they have a different level of confidence, but their confidence pisses me off so much. Where when I heard all Caesar say that, I was like, preach.
I will say this though. Waters had the best line, and like I said, if you watch Martin, you get the line. The day of the Geechee is over. Now, as a kid, I didn't understand the fucking line at all. I didn't know what the fuck a Geechee is. As I got older and I looked it up, I was like, oh, ooh.
Yeah, the sing-songy black folk of South Carolina. Now, here's the funny thing. My family on my mama's side, they came from South Carolina. No, they're not Geechee. Yeah. But and it's so funny. Everybody. It's so funny with black folk. Because black folk, we have this thing where we don't want to be American and black. We want to be something else.
Yeah.
And
we was kings, D. We were kings.
I noticed that when everybody has a drop of Dominican, Haitian, or whatever in their blood, they run to them little flags. If you got a drip of Jamaican, you got Jamaican flag. Jamaican up there, whatever you got up there, Curacao shit, Grenada, all of them, man, Trinidad. If you have a drop of that, they love having that over being black and American. So the one thing I've noticed when I grew up, I don't know about everybody else, but I noticed anybody that's from South Carolina, or at least got people from there, they want to be Geechee so bad. Because Geechee, I give it up. The Geechee people have such a beautiful culture.
I was there for a wedding on the island.
In America, that's amazing, man. To have a black culture that distinct in America, you know what I mean? So
I went to a wedding.
You been to a Geechee wedding?
So my girl's mom, she was getting married, and we had to take a boat to this island.
Wow.
That was like Geechee. Like, it's a Geechee island. It's actually an island. It has a general store and everything. It's a very isolated island. When you go there, it's one of those, I can see myself being here for a week and just chilling.
Hey, Chris. South Carolina lost all the votes that came out of this county.
I mean, but no, we got
knowing
the history though, like they actually had there's an old church there. That's where her mom got married at and stuff, and it was actually
really,
yeah.
If you had the island, I think you had dog. That's cool as shit.
Oh yeah, it was interesting being there, just knowing the history and all that stuff there, and so seeing Memphis, who is from that, Private Memphis, he's from that island and stuff. it was tragic seeing the fact that like Waters kind of did him dirty like that, and then boom, he hung himself in jail, and it's like, oh damn, like
you had this dude who was really full, and that's the one thing a part of Geechee culture that actually did. They some singing ass niggas.
Oh yeah. Look, you were right when you saw Patti LaBelle at the beginning of this movie. It's like, yeah, we about to get some prime Patti LaBelle and.
Patty had 2 songs in this movie, but the thing I always forget about Patti LaBelle, this is 1984, number 1.
Yeah.
And number 2, I think people forget this. Patti LaBelle is a 10 as a performer and a 10 as a singer. She was the precursor of Whitney Houston to me. Because Patty, don't get it wrong, Patty had a fucking voice that could just kill everybody. She was the precursor to Whitney Houston,
reason why
who was a straight up chopper. You know what I mean?
There's a reason why that versus, what was it, Patty and who was it? Who the fuck was it in the versus? Patty
Gladys.
Patty and Gladys. There's a reason why that shit was fucking dope as hell. It's like, yeah, you about to get some prime singing in this.
I like how we all made a joke. Who the first one going to sit down? Who the first one going to take their wig off? I think Patty was the first. I think who was the first one to go kick their shoes off?
Patty was like,
Patty
oh, shit.
I think Patty won all of them, actually. I think Patty took a wig off. I don't remember.
But you're right. Like, Patty, she's on 10.
Like I said, I think we all forget that. Like, it's so kind of funny. Like, I can get into arguments and real good arguments about how good Mary J's voice is, Rihanna's voice, Beyonce's voice, or whatever. I don't see, and no offense to none of those 3 women who are all those 3 right there are giants. They're not perfect 10s. Love Rihanna. Rihanna's my queen. Her voice is better than her performance and voice are like at the same level. Beyonce's a way better performer than she is a singer. Real quick. You see what I'm saying? They're not both perfect 10s, though.
Also, look, I love you, Rihanna. I get that Disney back to Brinks truck to get you to do a song, but that song for Wakanda Forever, that was the laziest fucking song.
Lazy.
And I'm glad as a people, we all admitted that, but at the same time, we were all in solidarity of get your money, Rihanna. I love that. Money. We love
like Mary J. Like it's so funny. Mary J. Blige, like I said, you can question her voice, but her songs are good.
Oh yeah.
You can question her performance, but the second the stepping starts,
yeah, it's like, oh man.
Like I said, you can question her performance, but when she starts that stiletto stomp, oh my god, I'm sorry, that's the most New Yorkish nigga thing ever, and I love it. But yeah, like. We forget, like I think a lot of us forget that Patti LaBelle is a queen for a fucking reason.
You get her, and to get her in a movie like this is wild.
Which now she said she caught me off guard because I know her and Luther was very tight, but she mentioned something. So like, go ahead, Luther. When she said in the first song, I'm looking for Luther Vandross. Now, if he did the track. When he was playing the piano, I don't know. I didn't look it up. But I was looking at the piano, so that was Luther Vandross. Like, not him. I was just making sure. Speaking of which, I know some people saw that Luther joke and they hate Patti LaBelle now. Leave it alone, nigga. This year's over. I'm sorry. Luther been dead for 20-some years. It's over with, bro. And I'm kind of with Patty. Nigga, we all know you gay. What you talking about? If you don't come out the club.
Real quick, something else too. It's a little bit of a trivia thing here, and this is why I like stuff about these movies. So Bill Clinton was governor of Arkansas during the time period this movie was made, and he actually got the Arkansas National Guard to help out for some scenes in his movie, like especially like the marching scenes and all that stuff. I didn't know that until like I looked that up, and I was like, oh shit, like all right, cool, that's actually pretty dope.
Weird. Well, that's a weird bit of trivia.
I know. I mean, look. Number one, I forgot Bill Clinton was governor, and I was like, hold up, I forgot. Yeah, he was governor, and then boom.
So they did this. So that being said, they filmed this in Arkansas. They didn't film it in Louisiana.
Yeah, they probably filmed certain parts in maybe in Louisiana, but I can see the.
They probably had like yeah. But here's a funny thing. You know what? The one thing I do love about when it comes to nature and comes to trees and the atmosphere and the whole thing is like it's weird that some parts of the South all look the same, but some parts of the South don't look the same at all. It's so funny. There are parts of North Carolina that look exactly like parts in Alabama.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. There's some parts in Tennessee that look exactly like Florida.
If you filmed a movie,
so weird.
If you filmed a movie in like fucking Alabama and you said it was set in North Carolina, it's like, oh, that sounds about right.
Cool. Yeah, you believe it.
All
because
right.
there were a lot, there was a lot of Southern movies that were filmed in like Wilmington or something like that. Yeah. And he said it was like Florida or something like that. Like it's like that's the one thing I like about nature. If you get close enough to a river, you're going to see the same foliage. Look, you're going to see the same
I tell you what
see the same flora and fauna, you know what I mean?
I tell you what hit me was just the fact that like when they show scenes in the movie when they're off base and you see the black folks working out in the fields. Mm-hmm. And I think we've said this probably multiple times over. It's amazing that it's only in recent times that Southern states finally abolished that shit of having workers like that's. And it's I shouldn't be. I guess I'll say I wasn't shocked. I shouldn't be shocked by that because Southern states tend to take a long ass time to catch up to modern times on certain things, and that's one of them.
Yeah, remember. Lynching just finally became illegal in America.
Oh God, that still blew my mind when I saw that.
That's still really? that is. It's so funny. I like how people try to throw that as a way to knock fucking Obama, which was one of the weirdest detours I ever seen in my life. But whatever. I bet Obama looked up when he signed the bill. All right, this is the anti-lynching law. Fuck you mean it wasn't that? Oh, so this is the first. Wow, okay. Barack Obama. Wow, you kidding me?
You know, he looked at Joe Biden. You know, he looked at Biden on that, and Biden was like, "Hey, bro, what do you want me to say?"
Hey, look. I didn't know it at all. You know,
and I like niggas in jail up.
Come on. Come on. We didn't hang a black in Scranton in years.
That's on the crime bill. It's crazy.
Come on. I think niggers are reformed now. Joe, I told you about that word.
Hold on for 1 second.
Oh, my God, man. Go ahead. Time for D to entertain everybody. As you know, here on 3 Black Geeks, we love making y'all laugh and all the rest of that shit. So like I said, like, click, subscribe. Please, if you do not follow us, please if you follow us, please hit the notification bell because we're always doing something new, always doing something different on this channel. It's going to be really wacky because we're going to be doing different stuff. As we said again, this year, 3 Black Geeks are going to be with Blurred Station at BlurredCon, and I hope all of you will come through and be a part of it. Like I said, we still having our open donations. We will have a description, and we will have the information in the description later on, and all the rest of that. Now it's time for me just to play different clips.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
You bet your sweet Bippy I did.
So that also being said, I did want to throw out there that because when it comes to people leaving 3 Black Geeks this year, it's only going to be in the first part of this year. And as y'all see, this is the second week y'all do not see DJ Sue. Y'all probably won't see him till March, maybe. Yeah. I don't know the whole deal about that. And Chris is going to be on his junk every day with me until May, where he's going to disappear for a whole good week and probably longer than that, because I think that's going to forward to our summer break anyway. I don't know. But look, Chris, I think you're going to come back for the 4th of July junk and you're going to be off again.
Like,
I don't know. What episode? What the hell?
But it's kind of interesting. Like I said, he's getting Robertson is getting Oh shit! Yeah, that's right. That was in
Biloxi Blues. Though,
you never watched Biloxi Blues? That's actually pretty good. Blues.
No. I seen Biloxi Blues probably once. I can't tell you about it because I just remember, that was the one with your boy Ferris Bueller. I'm blanking on his name right now, but I remember him talking about the people in his regiment when he started reading his book and all the rest of that. I remember that.
Matthew Broderick. Yeah, Matthew
Broderick. God, I don't know why I was blanking on his name.
And Christopher Walken was in that movie too.
Yeah, Christopher Walken was in that movie. God, I forgot about that. But I remember that one thing they was reading this book, and he said that one of the dudes was like it was like the bully, but he said he was like the perfect soldier that he's probably going to die in battle, but he's going to be a hero for it. He basically said he's going to save somebody's life one day.
Also,
and it was one of those things where he was like, "All right, Pekelski, I think you're all right with this one, Jew," or something like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, Biloxi Blues. You know what? I'm sorry. D never watched Tuskegee Airmen.
what? It's a dope movie.
I seen the two Walter Mosley books that were made into movies. It was the Lawrence Fishburne one, and it was another one too. I think they were both.
Not maybe One Holler. It was the other one with.
It was like everywhere. God, my dad read that book. I forgot the name.
I've read it.
I've read it
too. It was,
but Isaiah Washington was in it, and
yeah.
there was a couple other people in it.
He was a former convict that had to get a job, and
exactly, yeah. I seen a bunch of those, but I'd never seen Tuskegee Airmen. I
know
yeah. Tuskegee Airmen, but I never watched it.
That's actually really good. It's what Red Tails was trying to aspire to be, but
it's funny. I wouldn't mind us doing that as a review, because if we were going to do that, because there's one HBO movie I do want us to do, and it's Gotti, starring Amon DeSante. Starring Amon DeSante Gotti.
Okay,
movie. Good Gotti movie. And our boy is in it. Anthony Quinn is in it, and Chris, I skipped it to the best scene where they're all at the table. It's this, Chris. It's some good this. It's some really good, authentic fucking Italian, even though Amon DeSante is Cuban, but good fucking Italian. It's some great acting. And I'm like, 3BG have to do this one day. I want us to Gotti for a minute. But if we do that, man, I would love to do Tuskegee Airmen, because
always
I know
outnumbered.
Praised by everybody. Always outnumbered. Thank you. Yeah, but I would love to do Tuskegee Airmen, because everybody says it's a classic. I just never watched it.
But like Robertson's whole thing with this movie was like Davenport's whole thing was he's trying to get to the bottom of it. And once he kind of talks with Wings Hauser and figures out like, okay, something isn't adding up, because they did punch the shit out of Waters, but clearly they didn't do anything. All right, cool. Because it's funny enough, Wings Hauser's and them knows that if they even do anything past shooting Waters, then they're going to be fucked. Yeah. So it's like, all right, we'll punch them. That's it.
They know it will be all right. Yeah.
White people, to their credit, I will say they know there's a line. And granted, some of their dumbass.
We can't kill this nigger. We gotta let him go.
Yes, their dumb cousins will cross that line, and then you know how some of their white people be like, "Oh my god, why would you do that?" I'm like, "Come on, bro, you know racism."
You know, Chris, you and me sitting on Blue Sky. Yeah, I don't understand you white folk. Why y'all still out here trying to talk to your cousin like, "See, you were made a fool. I am here to help." Stop talking to them that way.
Stop
that shit, because y'all the main ones that let them motherfuckers run around and be Nazis anyway. Stop talking to them like that. Call them assholes like you should.
No. Just go old school. Do what your dad did when you were a kid. Pop upside the head. Done. Like
fight them.
Yeah.
Fight them. No, that's my main thing. Especially all you want to be Antifa white folk. And I know you got a cousin in your family, punch him.
Punch him in the mouth.
Punch him in the mouth. Punch him in the mouth. That's all you gotta do.
So what's the worst thing going to do? The worst thing they can do is sit there and get angry at you, and that's it.
Hey, Chris. Hey, D, how's that gonna make him stop and vote for Trump? Huh? I mean, what? I mean,
look, we already saw a white kid turn his dad in for January 6th, and he was like, "I gotta move."
Don't worry, Trump absolved that. Don't worry, he's absolved of his crime, because apparently committing treason is not.
Dude, let me tell you something. Fuck it. Let me tell you. Let me ask you this. And this is why this is why I love how other countries are dogging the shit out of America right now. I like how Canadians are like, let me get this right, America. And they pointed specifically to white people. So they didn't get at like all of America. It was like, let me get this right, white people. Y'all sit there and love talking about how you're proud to be an American. You love your guns, but you can't just shoot. You can't just keep that same energy towards Donald Trump. I don't understand this. And I'm like, they have a point. They have a point.
That's what they are. Master Trump said not to jump, and they were like, "Oh, all right, we's gonna be some good crackers."
I'm proud to be an American, but you ain't gonna fucking turn in your treasonous cousin for breaking into the Capitol.
You're gonna let
like,
the South African,
steal your lunch money,
who can't pull this apartheid shit in the place that he lives at. You gonna let him do it in America because you really don't like your Mexican neighbor. I'm sorry, your neighbor who's actually from Nicaragua, you racist motherfucker.
D, it smells like bitch in here. That's all I'm saying. Just saying.
These niggas, y'all niggas, like, here's my thing. If you're gonna pee on the Constitution, pee on it, not around it. Nigga, pee on it. Like, geez, man.
There's a reason. Look,
Chris, one of my biggest problems about my sister, I caught my sister off guard with this yesterday. I was talking about being a Clinton Christian, how they was teaching me white Jesus. And she immediately started like, what's white Jesus? I'm like, bitch, you already know what white Jesus is. You already know what that is. Like white people, y'all don't want to take an L and y'all don't want to say y'all stupid. Those are two things. If y'all just take your L and say we retarded, do you know how much you will be set free? Do you know it? All y'all, you know what? You Chris, this is not a guarantee. This is not a guarantee. If Trump tomorrow said black people reparations and meant it and gave it to us,
I'm not thinking Trump.
No. Y'all don't want to win. Y'all don't want to win. And I know what a couple of you people are saying. Why don't the Democrats do that shit? Come on, man. We voted them in. They don't need to do it no more. The point is,
look, I always said Democrats have to be the adults in the room. So that's not happening.
They have to be. But the worst part about it is all the Democrats that are in charge are these grandstanding white people that is like, I tried. Time to go back home to my Mai Tai. No, they are really these type niggas, yeah.
You got Hakeem Jeffries and AOC. That's like, look, if I was white,
Jeffries. Going back home every day, getting called nigga by a bunch of random white folk he never seen in his life. AOC gets bomb threats and niggas that be sending her Nikes just so they can piss in them and come inside of them. Like she got to deal with that. Yo honky ass won't do.
Every minority of the Democrats is like, look, I could push through these security guards in these buildings and go after that fucking South African bandit. But you know what? The security guards will probably shoot my black ass. So I can't do it. I can't.
You know, you can't do it. You America. I like how there's this weird thing, like, and the nerve of the GOP and everybody on that side going, how dare you do this? Is that there's been subliminal people saying, you know what could work? That nigga getting shot, and y'all going, oh, why would you want that to happen to the president? I got people who didn't vote telling me that bull crap.
You're gonna laugh at this. It was me and like 5 other black folks. Somebody was like, we used to be a proper country. Can we bring back assassinations? And I was like, there was a time period, folks, if you were of a certain age, where assassinations was a thing.
You know what? They were, because they would call, you know what they would call? You want peace. I'm sorry, you want what? You know why they killed RFK? Do you want to know why they killed RFK? You want to know why they killed RFK?
Because he loved black people and wanted civil rights to be in war.
He said these unions need to chill with all this shit because they working for the people. And you know what the union said? No, they shot him. That's what happened. You want to know, also played by Mr. Rollins. Do you know what happened to Medgar Evers? He laid the blueprint for Martin Luther King. You know what white folks said? No.
Bobby Kennedy got the fucking blicky put on him for fucking adopting his brother's shit.
John, JFK. Now JFK fucked up. That was the CIA.
That was a CIA psyop
that was
right
different.
there.
That was a lolly lulelo. I still don't know all the questions. Think about that. Martin Luther King had to go because the FBI was like, this communists want us to hug each other. We can't have this happen. Can't.
Fred Hampton, same. They were like, buddy.
He gotta
go.
buddy.
Whoa, buddy. You telling poor white people that they're the same as poor black people? Oh, we can't have that.
Sorry. You got the Chicanos, the niggers, and the freaking rednecks to come to each other. No, we can't have that. That's a coalition that will take us out. We can't have that happen.
Nope.
Come on, man. Y'all were the reason why Seals and Carmichael left the country. Y'all the reason why Huey Newton tried to leave the country. Y'all got him addicted to cocaine. Like, come on, bro.
Well, to be fair, let's be real too. Take it a step further. We got Trump in 2 terms because white folks really were like, oh, black people having fun with 8 years of Obama. Got to put them in their place here.
Nah, we got 8 years of Trump. He's going to come in there, going to make sure everybody reads the Bible.
Hey, he's going to take your Social Security, right? No, he's not. Okay, have fun with that, buddy.
Oh, my God.
But anyways, Davenport, 3 days. Now, he's finding something fishy, and he's starting to poke at what the fuck really happened. Now, the ironic part is you got Peterson and what was the other guy's name? Dude from the Warriors.
Yeah, I didn't catch his name though. But he was out there. Dude, he was kind of the
Smalls. Smalls and Peterson. You could tell because Smalls especially, he was kind of like very like nervous and fidgety. If you really catch it during the movie.
No sir. I ain't really sure who did it, but he was one of them niggas.
Yeah. And Peterson, again, is Denzel. He knows how to play Joe Cool. And I would give him credit. Like, he's really just like, I'm sticking to my story. They ain't going to ever find out kind of vibe. And I give him credit for that. And like when Davenport finally like starts poking and prodding around, he ends up finding out like basically because of what Waters did to Memphis, that's why Peterson basically shot. Because the whole crux of it was the black soldiers weren't allowed to have guns, at least in the sense of like, they only had the guns that they were issued. And what you ended up finding out was he actually took the 9mm that was used to shoot Waters out the barrack, out the armory. He wasn't supposed to. He ended up just taking it out illegally. And he shot Waters when he was drunk. And this is after Wings Hauser then punched, Waters.
Mm-hmm.
And basically Waters being drunk was just talking cash shit to Peterson and Smalls. And Smalls kept telling Peterson, hey, man, just leave it be. And Peter's like, nah, fuck this. And boom, shot his ass.
Like, they're still gonna hate you. They're still gonna hate you. And now, and that's the interesting thing what Waters is saying. Of course, when men are drunk, they're gonna start telling the truth. And the thing with him, what Waters hated, he hated himself. You can tell that he hated himself. And one of the things he hated was that he said it. I did everything my daddy told me to do. What the white man tell you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this. You can tell that he was raised by proud black people who were like, we're trying to get ahead. So this is what we got to do to get ahead. You can tell that was installed in him. But you can also tell there is and this is something that a lot of black people fight with. I had a moment like this in my life, I don't know about you, where it really was, the fuck am I doing? These white folk ain't gonna respect.
I feel every black person has a moment like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing that hit him. He's like, I did all this for what? Y'all ain't gonna make me now. I'm still a sergeant. Y'all don't give a fuck about me. It doesn't matter. I ain't gonna get nowhere closer to the white man and all the rest of that shit. And that's the struggle that black people deal with, man. There are black men who, I would say, I'm boosting your head, but there are black men like you, Chris, who are working their ass off to get up,
something.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, just
to get something. And what do we all have in common? And this is the reason why black people, even when there's financial gaps in wherever it is, we all come together on one thing. We gotta deal with white people's bullshit. And white people either because they don't know they're a part of the problem or they know they're a part of the problem, do not want black people to exceed. They don't want us to succeed at all. And we all have to hit that wall where it's like, what the fuck am I doing? And you can see that in him when he was having that little speech. But he was telling Peterson, you just like me. You're going to be doing the same shit. Yes, sir. No, sir. I did what you say, sir. And you just going to be the same. You just going to kill me off of what? They still going to hate you. Mm-hmm. You get rid of me, nigga, guess what? They still going to hate you. And that's kind of a very sad thing that black people still have to deal with to this day.
I mean, but you look at
even if you do them, nigga, they still gonna hate.
But if you think about the time period, though, like we said at the start, like these are black soldiers that wasn't allowed to be part of the war effort. So it's like you kind of understand why he said that, because it's the futility of, damn, I'm in the army
right there.
It's like I want to help my country out, even if my country fucking hates me, but I still want to be part of this effort, and they're not allowing me to be part of that effort.
And when you have that with Rollins coming in there being a black captain and nobody ever seen a black officer before, and at the end of the movie, right at the end of the movie, before he caught Peterson, they're shooting off flares. Why? Y'all going to war. Yeah, y'all going over to Germany. Y'all going to fight in Germany. Mm-hmm. And
they're excited. They're like, oh, shit, yes.
Which is a very interesting thing, because even in World War I, we was impressive. But in World War II, black people showed their ass off in the war. A lot of the reason why, and I say this with pride, my family wasn't part of that. I think a part of them was probably, I don't know. But a lot of black people, the reason why their family is was because y'all came through the military, because that was set by your granddaddy that came out of World War II. There's not a lot of black people like that. Some of those families broke apart because you know how this country is. But the ones that stayed there, you stayed there because your granddaddy set that shit when he came back from the war. Look, and that's a beautiful ass thing, man.
But you think about it like,
and you kind of see that at the end of the movie, it was showing that times were actually changing.
Oh yeah, I mean, because
you can see that theme in the movie though.
I don't know if you saw,
and that's despite the whole time you seeing Peterson that know there's a wall, seeing Waters that know there's a wall, and neither of them can get past that shit. And at the end of the movie, we're going to war, and there's a black officer right there. It's like time goes on.
I mean, because even the white guy, the colonel, was like, huh. Negroes are going to be going to war. I guess we might see some Negro officers. And then that's when Davenport was like, well, you're going to have to get used to it. You know?
I look at it like, yeah, well, you're going and the one thing I loved about Davenport, the whole movie, was, white man, are you going to let me do my job or not?
I'm trying to be professional about this.
Like, I don't care if it was Roosevelt himself. Well, guess what? Roosevelt said I'm down here, so you're going to let me do my job. Because you got two choices. You lock me out or you're going to have to deal with Washington. And I know you don't want to deal with Washington.
But one thing.
And he G-checked him twice. Mm-hmm. See, if I was a white soldier, I wouldn't do that. This has nothing to do about you. Then let me fucking do it. Like, yo, come on, bro.
Yeah, but I like that he called him out on that, because he was trying to pull that whole, well, I don't see color. And I'm like, bullshit. Because, you know, he really tried to pull Davenport on that I don't see color shit. I mean, he didn't say that word, that verbatim.
Oh, it was I don't see color. I know that speech when I see it. It's I don't see color.
It's like, what are you talking about? I did it. I'm like, bullshit. Come on. Like, don't play. Don't play. I mean,
I've been with these colored soldiers for this long, and y'all shut up. You still can be racist.
I mean, it kind of reminds me, I don't know if you watched that new movie, The 6888, that came out.
I heard about it.
Despite the early 15-20 minutes of the movie at the start kind of having a little bit of Tyler Perryisms and stuff, it actually does even out into an actual legit war, because it's based off a true story of an actual black female battalion that helped in the effort of bringing mail to the soldiers during World War II. And I remember watching it, and I was sitting back like, this kind of has a little bit of soldier story vibes, a little bit, because we're following these black women and all the trials and tribulations of what they had to sit there and deal with, because just like these black men in the military, where they were just stuck with being baseball players and they couldn't be in the war effort, these black women were pretty much in the same territory, to where they couldn't be part of war efforts and they can only just do shit like work on cars, and that's it. Couldn't do anything else.
It's kind of funny. The United States military during the Civil War, black people with the Union, it took them a while for Frederick Douglass to finally convince Abraham Lincoln to let black soldiers to actually fight in the war, and it actually was a big boost for the Union. Now, to this day, we got people saying they were black Confederates. There's no such thing as black Confederates. The black Confederates that if you see any pictures with black Confederates
they had no choice but to be there.
Yeah, because of two reasons. Number one, either they was there with a deluded ass master. Come on, Charles, now come on. We have to go out here and fight these Yankees. Come on. Charles is by my side this whole time. Ain't that right, Charles? Yes, sir. We going out there, aren't we, sir? Yes, we are. I need you to hold this, Charles. I do believe it's getting hot out here, and I can hold my gun. There was a lot of that going on. And on the other side of the same thing, if you saw a bunch of they black Confederates. No, those are Teamsters. And I'm being nice when I'm saying Teamsters because, yes, some of them were free black men, but those free black men still had to do grunt shit. They were Teamsters. Black men were not allowed to hold guns in the Confederacy. So how wild is it for this movie to be taking place in 1944 and all those black officers on that base are told you ain't supposed to have a fucking gun because we cannot let you coons run around here armed and loaded. Because there are documented, and yes, people documented evidence of the military fighting their own military because there was nothing but black people in there and they had guns, and the black soldiers told all the white officers nah at one point and took over the base. There's documented evidence of that shit happening. So white folk were very, very apprehensive of ever giving us a fucking gun or rifle, whatever. So that's just wild to me. That was a rule of the Confederacy that black people could have guns. And you fast forward that nearly 100 years to World War II, and that's wild.
I mean, we think about, was it Outlaw Bass Reeves? I think real actual person, but like that, he was like one of the few exceptions of black people that actually.
There was actually a bunch of black bounty hunters. That was and that actually kind of pissed off white folk.
What do you mean this nigga got a gun?
Because the cowboys that are fantasized about and all that, they were really black sheriffs and black bounty hunters. A lot of them, man. Even down to the wrangling of cows and horses, all that. No, those was blacks and Mexicans that did that shit. We made that shit cool. Not no white folk. We did.
Oh yeah. I mean, look.
That's wild, man.
Look, and that's part. That's
God bless America.
I mean, but like I said, that's the core reason why I love A Soldier Story, because it's number one. There's no bullshit white savior. There's no like that one white guy that's like, I love black people. None of that bullshit. It's just
I want you to get to the truth. There was none of that.
No, there was none of that shit. It was like, no, we're gonna give you. This is what it was in the 1940s. It's very unflinching, and hey, you're just gonna deal. That's just what it is, and that's why I love it. Because even down to the end, when he finally gets to the truth, it's like, okay, they're going to jail, and the war effort is starting up, and black soldiers are part of it and stuff. And those white officers are like, well, shit, I guess black people are part of the effort now, and okay, shit, I guess race is on.
I can tell you right now, one of them said this: the fuck is this world coming to? We letting coons fighting our damn army. Niggas are gonna turn the guns on us.
Which I'm like, if that's what you're afraid of,
you know they did. White folk do that now, man. Can't have too many black officers in this area. All right.
As somebody that was in the military, there is something to be said about like black people in the military. It's just like you said, you're going to get your black guys that feel that they are the exceptional Negro to the bullshit and stuff, and then you got us as black folks that are just there because it's like, look, I'm just here so I don't get fired, dog. I'm not rah America. I'm just here to get paid, bro.
Not
like
hoorah, none of that shit. I'm just here to get a paycheck. I'm trying to get my charger. I'm trying to get a house.
And I got a family. Like I'm just trying to just maintain, do my 20 and retire. Like the fuck, like
Exactly.
and that's
Exactly.
and that's something that I think a lot of us black folks that were in the military. I mean, hell, you can ask my grandfather. Ask my grandfather right now. Did you join the military because America? Nah. I just money. Like I just
opportunity.
Yeah, opportunity.
It's as simple as that. Just opportunity. That's what a lot of us did it for. Yeah, now it takes on a different connotation. And even back then in the 70s, even when Vietnam happened, that's when a lot of black people really started questioning the shit.
Oh yeah. I mean,
like,
we talked about it. We talked about it in Dead Presidents. It's just it was
about Dead. In several different movies we talked about.
Yeah,
but yeah, a lot of black soldiers is like, I don't know nothing. Like I didn't know Vietnam was even a place until y'all told me. You know what I mean? That type of ish.
Vietnam, the one war that white people definitely wanted to try to erase because that was the first time America got punched in the mouth.
Mollywop.
That's a soldier story. Kind of sucks that unless you buy this movie on Amazon Prime, if you're trying to get a actual physical copy, it's a bitch and a half to fucking get.
I would say this movie doesn't get brought up a lot, and I was asking myself watching this why, like it gets brought up enough to me. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm wondering why does it not get brought up more than it should? Because this is a really good film. I don't know why. Maybe just the popularity of the movie just wasn't as high as I think it was.
I think The Walking Dead is probably the one that people forget, and that's a.
Oh, I don't think nobody knows Walking Dead that much. The Walking Dead is it's another one that's really good. The names that are in that movie is like, I'm sorry, who was in it? Because I know Alan Payne's in it. I know your boy Morton's in it.
Joe Morton,
yeah. Tyron Turner was not in that movie. I don't think Tyron Turner was in that movie. I don't think he was. But yeah, that's a movie that's stacked too. But again, it's got like much like Clockers, only it's like that's a level 2.
Eddie Griffin. Eddie
Griffin was in the movie,
yeah.
Actually, much like
Monty Sweet too. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? No.
And Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac is in there. Yeah, Bernie Mac was in that. I think actually it's a level 3. It's a level 3 because I think The Walking Dead is on the same level as the Fear of the Black Hat.
I mean,
and Sugar Hill is almost on that same level, but I think Sugar Hill's in a level 2 of black ass movies. But yeah, same thing with all this movie too. But yeah. This is a social story. I'm glad we did it, bro. I know you really, really love this movie, bro. And I'm glad we actually.
Yeah. Now I will say this one little tidbit though with Denzel. Again, this is one of Denzel's earlier movies. I think this is coming off of Mighty Quinn and such, so he's still kind of early. Apparently Denzel didn't really think this movie was going to do well until he actually saw the final cut of the film before it got released, and he's like, oh well, shit, I feel dumb for not believing in this movie. But I mean, like I said, you're talking about a stage actor and then he's doing a movie, and I think that plays into like what Denzel has said recently about like, hey, if you're an actor, you want to go to do stage first before you do a movie, because when you're doing a movie, a director is more influencing how you're acting versus when you're on stage, you have to be the one that actually does the acting. And I'm like, that makes sense. So that might went into why when he did this movie, he's kind of like, I think this is going to work because you're having me do this acting a certain way. And it's like, all right, cool, yes. So, yeah.
I think that's what I think. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I think it's one of those things where he just wasn't used to it. And you know, I mean, I wasn't able to do what I want to do probably, and he just felt that it wasn't that great.
Yeah. But Soldier Story, it's one of those movies that actually got nominated for 7 Academy Awards and won 5, including Best Picture.
It won Best Picture?
Yep.
Get out of here.
Dead ass.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
it won.
No, it got my bad.
It got nominated. It couldn't.
Got nominated for Best Picture, Best Screenplay, and Best Supporting Actor.
Like I'm about to say, man.
Now,
I
obviously,
was
it
about to
won.
say, ain't no way in the world we would never hear the end of that shit. You know
Now,
how black
obviously,
people like to
if-
reference. You know how we like to remember shit like this.
Now, it did win 2 NAACP awards, so of course.
I think this is also the movie that kind of put Denzel on the map too,
Oh yeah,
or at least noticed. He was noticed.
I think this is definitely one of those movies that, like, given where schools are at now, probably can't show it, but I think this is one of those movies you could show to high schoolers, possibly.
Yeah, you should. It should be shown to high schoolers if you ask me.
Oh yeah, so.
Yeah,
But
what
we got next on this Black History Month journey?
Well, I gotta be real with you. I don't know how we're gonna do any of this shit because I thought DJ Sue would be able to do something this month, and I don't think he would be able to do anything this month. But
we'll play it by ear.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We'll see. But the next live show, everybody that you will hear us on will be for the Clone Tyrone.
Yes.
That would be the next live show. Now I can't tell you if we're gonna have a show in between those because we're still planning to do Django Unchained and Do the Right Thing. But again, I don't know how we can schedule it.
DJ Sue did sit there and say he's gonna try to make the shit work by hook or crook. So I believe him on that because he's definitely.
I hope so.
So
yeah, because he's dealing with a move and dealing with, oh my God, I'm dealing with ancient internet.
Yeah, actually, correction on that. Tevin's right. This was Denzel's second movie because he did Carbon Copy. So this is before The Mighty Quinn. My bad. I'm tripping. Yeah.
I was going to say, they had to be. I was going to do that too.
Because he did, he did Cry Freedom. And that's another one that people talk about.
That's another one. Cry Freedom, Jesus, yeah. But yeah, like I said, I plan for us to do those 2 movies. But the next one, more than likely, y'all will hear us on for a live show. Would be The Clone Tyrone, very new, a new Negro classic, if you ask me. And if I can say anything on that right now, it's a movie that meant a lot for me, and I think it means a lot to a bunch of us because I knew at least 2 Tyrones. Actually about 5.
I mean, I think
that movie, 5 Tyrones.
That movie surprised a lot of folks because the trailers, to its credit, I will give the trailer this. You couldn't really make heads or tails of what the movie was going to go direction-wise. You just thought, oh, this is a very weird Black movie. All right, cool. And then when you watch the movie, it's like, oh shit, like, okay.
I will say this.
All right.
I hate every one of you new niggas that got hired by one of these white outlets to say that this movie wasn't all that great. I hate every one of you coons that sat there and was like, yeah, it's good, but what's this speak to the African Americans of the day? And it's some fucking Zoomer who's like 22 years old and only grew up around white folk that's saying some shit like that. That but whatever. As a nigga that has grown up around a bunch of Tyrones, I felt that whole ending, Chris. So it was like, I felt the ending where it was like, damn,
nigga, ain't
they clone Tyrone, and everybody turned and looked at him. I say I felt that because good example, real quick. We knew a dude that went to Full Gospel that was murdered. We both knew that.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, I was driving around that same part of the neighborhood. There's another one. Looks just like him.
Now you think
they clone Tyrone's a trick. Hey, they clone Tyrone might be really on to something. But anyway, that's the next time you'll hear us live. Like I said, hopefully the next show you'll see that will be up on our YouTube page and everything else will actually be Do the Right Thing. So anyway, we'll see y'all next time, y'all. Peace.